rise for the flag salute.
You want to turn, or you want?
Yeah.
Why don't you lead us, right?
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law by posting a notice of this meeting on the bulletin board in the municipal building and by publication in the Press of Atlantic City on January the 10th, 2019, and the Atlantic County Record on January the 16th, 2019. Freeholder Chairperson Amy Gatto will now swear in Charles Kane as Township Committee member.
Happy New Year, everyone. Please have to serve as a giant handshake and hug. I'm a little under the weather, so I'm trying to keep myself in the corner and not infect everybody. But happy to be here and excited and honored to be able to serve you today. All right, please right hand on the Bible.
And on the Bible, right hand up.
Just testing.
All weddings you serve under another board.
I, Charles Kane,
I, Charles Kane,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey.
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all of the duties
perform all the duties
of the Township Committee member
of the Township Committee member
of the Township of Hamilton
of the Township of Hamilton
for the term
for the term
January 1st, 2020
January 1st, 2020,
through December 31st, 2022.
January 31st, 2022,
December 31st.
December 31st.
According to the best of my ability,
According to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God. Let's jump ahead there, right? Thank Hamilton Township's favorite daughter. I'm going to reserve my comments to the end in order to expedite the meeting, but I do want to thank my family. I certainly want to thank all of you, and I want to thank the voters for having trusted me. Once again, it was almost 10 years to the day. I'm back, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Freeholder Chairperson Amy Gatto will now swear in Carl Patali as Township Committee member.
So I happily served with Charlie on Township Committee before, and I'm really excited to see him back. And I've been trying to serve on this guy for many years because I'm sure you know Carl. He's given you his opinion on one or two things. And I told him he should run and do something about it, so I'm really proud to see him do. Okay, put that left hand on the Bible. Oh, good thing you have GD I, Carl Patali.
I, Carl,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established
established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people,
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all of the duties
perform all of the duties
of the office of Township Committee Member
of the office of Township Committee Member
of the Township of
of
Hamilton
the Township of Hamilton
for the term of January 1, 2020
for the term January 1, 2020
through December 31, 2022,
through December 31, 2022,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Once again, thanks to everybody who voted for me, everybody who supported me. Thank you to our campaign team, absolutely amazing. And I really look forward to helping out our town and moving things forward. Thank you.
We'll now have a roll call. Mr. Kane?
Here.
Mr. Gishard?
Present.
Mr. Kurtz?
Here.
Mr. Patali?
Here.
Mr. Schenker?
Here.
If we may now have a moment of silence for private reflection. I call now for nominations for the permanent chairperson, also known as mayor, for the year 2020.
I'll move the name Art Shanker.
Second.
Are there any other nominations? Is there a motion to close nominations?
Motion to close?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to close nominations. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I call now for the vote for the appointment of Art Shanker as permanent chairperson for the year 2020. Mr. Kane,
Yes.
Mr. Gishard,
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz.
Before I vote, I have a few comments I'd like to make. I've had the privilege of being Township Committee for coming up on 6 years now, and I've had the honor of serving as mayor. And coming into this reorg meeting tonight, I looked forward to being appointed mayor for the last year of my term, as there was no contact from my fellow committeemen that this would be any different than that. On December 18th, I walked out of what I perceived to be an illegal meeting where I was told by almost everyone in attendance that I would not be appointed mayor because I lost the confidence of the planning and zoning boards over an amendment that I felt strongly would be beneficial to the township and to the people and the applicants coming before those boards by saving them time and money. It was a vote that I made on my own, and it ended up resulting in that amendment being passed by this board. And also 2 weeks after that, at another meeting, a very wise man and one of our members, Roger Silva, voted to table that amendment because he's seen some contention possibly with that amendment. He made a very good decision. It would have given us the opportunity to revisit that and possibly shape it so that it could please the Planning and Zoning Board. At that meeting, I felt very strongly about the applicants that would have been beneficial. It would have been beneficial to the applicants that would have benefited by this amendment, and also in the process made the township more business friendly. In what scenario does the Planning and Zoning Board choose the mayor? I believe that the 5 of us sitting up here choose the mayor. Present at this meeting were 3 sitting committee men 3 sitting committeemen, 2 committeemen-elect, a member of the planning board, a member of the MUA, a law firm that does work for the township and the MUA, among others. It is my understanding that almost all of the decisions that should be made up here tonight were most likely made at that meeting. However, with Art's family, I'm sure, present, and in that respect of not disrupting the reorg meeting, I will vote yes for Art Schenker as chairman, because this is what has been predetermined. Thank you.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Mr. Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carry.
John, my family's not here, thank God.
Oh, good.
Congratulations, Art.
I'll briefly thank committee for having the confidence and trust in me to be the mayor again this year. We've gotten a lot done in the past couple years. Look forward to continuing that and look forward to keep Hamilton Township moving forward. Without further ado, we need to do a selection of a permanent deputy chairperson known as deputy mayor for the year 2020. I call for nominations for 2020 permanent deputy chairman.
I'll make that nomination. I'll make a nomination to appoint Carl Patali as deputy mayor.
I respectfully decline.
I nominate Charlie Kane.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any other nominations? We need a motion and a second to close nominations, please.
Move to close.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close nominations. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. We call for a vote on the nominee, Charlie Kane. Do a roll call on this?
Let's do one.
Let's please.
Mr. Kane?
Yes.
Mr. Gishard?
Present.
Mr. Kurtz?
I feel that, I feel strongly that Charles should actually sit out this year. There's no doubt in my mind, he's a good man and he won the election, that he should eventually will be mayor and also deputy mayor at a point during his term. However, I think with some fences that still need to be mended between him and the police department, putting him in a position of deputy mayor where he is actually overseeing the police department is, in my personal opinion, not a good move. That's why I voted for Carl to sit as that position. So I vote no.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
4 yes, 1 no, motion carries.
We'll move on to number 3. Congratulations, Charlie.
Thank you.
Appointments of professionals for the year 2020 or until a successor is appointed. Township Solicitor.
I'll move the name of Robert Sandman, Hankins, Sandman, and Palladino.
We have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Can we just do a voice on these, Rita? These are all voice votes.
I think maybe we should do a roll call.
Okay,
I think.
we'll have at it.
Yes, on
All
this
right.
one.
Mr. Kane?
Yes.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mr. Patali?
I abstain.
Mr. Patali abstains. Mayor Schenker?
Yes,
4 yes, 1 abstention, motion carries.
thank you. B, Alternate Conflict Solicitor. Make a motion.
I'll move Randy Lafferty from Cooper Levinson.
We have a second.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Rita, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Kane?
Yes.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Present.
Mr. Patali?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes,
All yes and carried.
thank you. C, Labor Council.
I will move the name of Russell Lichtenstein, Cooper Levinson.
I'll make the second. Rita, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Kane?
Yes.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mr. Batali?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
D, Township Municipal Court Prosecutor. Recognize motion? Or nomination?
I'll move the name of Carl Trippican, Law Offices Carl N. Trippican.
Second?
Second.
Rita?
Mr. Kane?
Yes.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mr. Batali?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
E, Township Municipal Court Defender, Public Defender. Nomination or a motion?
Nominate Frank Lentz.
Second.
Second it?
We have a motion and second. Rita, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Kane?
Yes.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mr. Batali?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
F, Risk Management Consultant.
I'll move the name of Derek Valeni from Hardingbird Insurance.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Rita, can we get a roll call vote?
Mr. Kane?
Yes.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
No.
Mr. Batali?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
4 yes, 1 no, motion carries.
G, Township Auditor. It's your pleasure.
I'll move Ford Scott, Leon Costello.
We have a second.
I'll second it.
Rita, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Kane?
Yes.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mr. Batali?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
H, Township Engineer.
I move Steve Philippone, EDA.
I'll second.
Motion and second. Rita, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Kane?
Yes.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mr. Batali?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Alternate Township Engineer.
I move Kevin Dixon, Dixon Associates.
I'll second.
A motion and second. Rita?
Mr. Kane?
Yes.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mr. Batali?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
J, Traffic Engineer.
I'll move Kevin Dixon from Dixon and Associates.
I'll second.
We have a motion and second. Rita, can we do a roll call, please?
Mr. Kane?
Yes.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mr. Batali?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
K, Alternate Traffic Engineer.
Move Remington and Vernick.
I'll second.
Motion and second. Rita, can we get a roll call, please?
Mr. Kane?
Yes.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mr. Batali?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
We move to L, Township Architect.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion at this time that we re-RFP that position.
Okay. We have a motion, we have a second.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions?
Yeah, why that request?
To see if we get additional applicants for a comparison.
I've forgotten, how many applications did we get?
Just the one.
One.
Okay.
Rita, roll call, please.
Mr. Kane?
Yes.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mr. Batali?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
We move to item 4, a resolution rejecting all proposals received for bond counsel and certified New Jersey general appraiser and authorizing the re-advertisement of the RFP for the same.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Mike, would you like to just give a quick reasoning why we're doing this?
Their proposal exceeded what we paid last year, and according to our specifications, they couldn't do that. So we have to redo it.
Very good. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Authorize the administrator to prepare formal and fair and open professional service contracts for all appointees for 2020, or until the successor is appointed, and authorize the mayor and township clerk to execute the same.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 like a roll call.
Okay. Rita?
Mr. Kane?
Yes.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mr. Patali?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carry.
Thank you. Number 6, appointment of township physicians for the year 2020 or until successor has been appointed to be compensated on a services as rendered basis. A, Atlantic Care Occupational Health Services. B, Atlantic Investigations. C, Weymouth Wellness Center.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. Move on to number 7, Zoning Board of Adjustment Appointments. Township Committee appoints. We have a position at member, 4-year term that expires 12/31/23.
Nominate Wayne Choice.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for Wayne Choice. Are there any others? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Member, 4-year term expires 12/31/23.
I'll move the name Elaine Valentino.
Second.
A motion and a second. Are there any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Alternate 2, 2-year term to expire 12/31/21.
I'll nominate Diane Fox.
I'll second it.
Motion is second for Diane Fox. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Historic Preservation Commission appointments. Township Committee appoints. Class A member, 4-year term expires 12/31/23.
I'll move Carl Farrell.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Class B member, 4-year term expiring 12/31/23.
I'll make a motion to appoint Cheryl Fetty.
Second.
A motion and a second for Cheryl Fetty. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? The ayes have it. Alternate 1, 2-year term expires 12/31/21.
I move to nominate James Kerrigan.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to nominate James Kerrigan. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? The ayes have it. We have an alternate 2 position, 2-year term expires 12/31/20.
I'll make a motion to leave that vacant.
Okay. I don't think we need a motion. All right, motion second. Any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Move to number 9, Industrial Commission appointments. Township Committee appoints. Member, 5-year term expires 12/31/24.
I nominate Charles Fisher.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Okay, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? The ayes have it. Rita, we had the late list. Is this the position that was removed? Or
Yes.
is going to
Yes.
be removed?
Hmm?
So
Yes.
this position doesn't exist? is
Please
that what-
remove that. Yes, there
Yes.
was a little confusion over that
All
if
right,
someone
so
resigned
Bob, do
or
we
not.
have to motion this to be off the agenda, or? Okay,
I'll make that motion.
thank
I'll
you.
second it.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Number 10, we'll move on to Planning Board appointments. Class 3 committee appointment, all others appointed by mayor. Class 1, mayor designee, 1-year term expires 12/31/20. I want to appoint Marietta Barkowski.
I'll second it.
Here's-
We don't have to motion this, right?
have to
No motion.
myself with respect to Richard's.
Okay.
Just to clarify, the Class 3 is a committee appointment. All others are appointed by the mayor.
Yes. So the other
the
first two are by the mayor.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So Class 2 Township Official, one-year term expires 12/31/20. I'd like to put Jack Percy in that place. Then we'll move on to Class 3 Township Committee. One-year term expires 12/31/20. Just so everybody understands, this position has to be someone from Township Committee.
I nominate Charles Kane.
I'll second that. Are there any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Class 4, four-year term to expire 12/31/23.
Nominate Wayne Choice.
I'll second it.
We have a nomination and a second.
It's a mayor's appointment. All the rest are the mayor's appointments.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Oh, all right. In that case, it's Wayne Choice.
All right.
How's that?
What's your choice?
So we have another Class 4, four-year term expires 12/31/23. My choice there is Rich Cheek. Class 4, four-year term to expire 12/31/20, which is taking care of Charles Kane non-expired term, is Al Wormsdorf. Alternate 2, two-year term to expire 12/31/21 is George Fye. Move on to the Veterans Advisory Board. Township Committee appoints. Member, three-year term to expire 12/31/22.
All right, I'll nominate Roman Robertus.
I'll second it.
We have a motion, a second for Roman Robertus. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? The ayes have it. We have another member spot, a three-year term, expire 12/31/22.
Nominate Thomas Judge.
I'll second that.
We have a motion, a second for Thomas Judge. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. We'll move on to 12, Hamilton Township MUA. Township Committee appoints. We have a member, five-year term, February 1st, 2020 to February 1st, 2025.
I'll make a motion to appoint Roger Silva.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify. I'm going to do a roll call vote on this, please.
Mr. Kane?
No.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
No.
Mayor Shanker?
No.
2 yes, 3 no. Motion's defeated.
I'll make a motion to move Jenny Ayers.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Jenny Ayers, are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor, well, you want to do a roll call for this one, please?
Sure. Mr. Kane?
Yes.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
No.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
4 yes, 1 no. Motion carries.
Alternate 2, unexpired term, five-year term to expire 2/1/23.
I'll make a motion, we leave that vacant at this time.
Okay?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, the ayes have it. 13, Property Maintenance Code Appeals Board, Township Committee appoints.
Can we take this as a whole, Mr. Mayor, or?
Well, I think can we just do the one?
You can do number 3
Yes,
by itself right now,
and then be done with it?
then we'll move on.
Okay.
You could move her to a permanent member instead of an alternate if you want it, or you could just leave
Yeah.
the way it is.
Yeah. You want to do that? Yes. So member, three-year term expiring 12/31/22.
I'll make a motion to move Vicky Collette to the three-year term expiring 12/31/22.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Seeing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? For now, we're going to leave the rest of it alone. 14, Lenape Dam Advisory Board, Township Committee appoints. Township Representative at Large, one-year term, expires 12/31/20.
I'll move the name Carl Patali.
Second.
Hold on.
Wait a minute, we
Hold
got
on.
that
I can't
backwards.
do
That's-
Yeah, he's
Sorry.
he'll be
Yep.
the-
Yep.
I'll move Roger Silva.
Second.
I'll second.
We have motion and a second for Roger Silva. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? The ayes have it. Township Committee Member, one-year term, expires 12/31/20.
This is where I move Carl Patali.
Good luck moving me.
I'll second that. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Township Representative, Public Works Department, one-year term, expires 12/31/20.
I move Brett Knoll.
I'll second it.
A motion second for Brett Knoll. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Green Team, Township Committee appoints. Citizen Representative, one-year term, expires 12/31/20.
I'd like to
Unless
move
there's
to
a
select,
specific objection to anyone,
Can we move it all?
all.
A lot of these folks didn't want to be reappointed.
well, there's one, I'm aware of one, that's Michelle Bellinger, who's moving out of the area. The rest I thought were interested in staying.
Well, if you look at your handout, and if you want, you can just table this. If
Okay.
it's still, if it's confusing, but some of these folks didn't want to be reappointed, and there were new applicants, if anyone noticed. But if you're not ready, we could table it and do it next meeting.
I make a motion, we table it.
I'll second that.
A motion and second to table Green Team appointments. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. 16, Senior Citizens Advisory Committee, Township Committee appoints. Can we do these all as one?
You can.
Thank you.
So moved.
Can someone make a motion and list everybody's name, please?
I'll make a motion to appoint William Schmidt, Fiona Corbo, Patricia Johnson, James Kerrigan, Nancy Galimi, and Diane Fox.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. I think that Fiona Corbo may not be reapplying. Do you?
Yes, Ms. Corbo said yes, she'd like to be reappointed. The only one I didn't hear back from was Patricia Johnson.
Oh, well, she's interested, I know, so, okay.
All right.
It's good the way it stands then.
So we have a motion, we have a second. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all in favor say aye.
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 Against? The ayes have it. Emergency Management. Coordinator will be Officer Robeson. And I don't think anything's changing here as far as what's on the page. We don't have to vote on this. This is my appointment.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I left you a little cheat sheet.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay, thank you.
So you're saying that to me like I'm doing something wrong?
Well, yeah,
Yeah, I am. Okay. Thank you.
in a very nice way.
Yes, you did.
I hope
Yes, you
I'm
did.
saying that.
You did. All right. It's the first time this year. I'm doing good. The only change in this is going to be, in place of Sean Valari, is going to be Paul Graham. And I'd just like to make mention that Sean Valari was the chief of the Cologne Firehouse for 7 years, and he's decided to step back this year. So we really appreciate what he's done, and we're sorry to see him. He's still going to be involved with the firehouse, but he's not going to be the chief. And Paul's been gracious enough to take his place, and so Paul will be on that instead of Sean. Local Emergency Planning Committee. The appointment for the coordinator, which is my appointment, is going to be also Officer Robeson. and he does, most of these are by their duties, so. 19, Emergency Service Advisory Board, once again, it's by their, I appoint, it's by the jobs that they do. There's 3 residents that we have. 2 of them will be Henry Dorsey and John Percy. Move to 20, the mayor's announcement of the 2020 department chairs and co-deputy chairs. On Administration and Finance, it will be John Kurtz and myself. Public Works will be Carl Patali and John Kurtz. Public Safety will be myself and Charlie Kane. Planning and Zoning will be Charlie Kane and Rodney Gashard. Special Events will be Rodney Gashard and Carl Patali. Did I miss anybody? 21, designation of the holidays for full-time salary employees for 2020. Do we need to make a motion on this, or we just, we get a motion to carry this, please?
So
Make that
moved.
motion.
Okay, a motion, have a second?
Second.
All right. Any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, the ayes have it. 22, designation of depositories for the township funds for 2020. Wells Fargo Bank, Ocean First Bank, PNC Bank, Bank of America, Sun National Bank, and TD Bank.
So moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second, are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. 23, designation of official newspapers for municipal legal advertising in 2020. Atlantic County Record, Hamilton News, Camden Courier Post, Press of Atlantic City, Vineland Daily Journal, Mainland Journal, Newark Star Ledger.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. 24, establish regular township committee meeting and dates and times, which are listed below. We have a motion?
I'll move it.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions?
You're going to move the dates as listed on the agenda.
I'll move the dates as listed on the agenda.
I'll second. It's listed on the agenda.
Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? The ayes have it. 25, certification of membership for year 2020. A, Atlantic County, can I do these all at once?
No.
Ah, God. Atlantic County League of Municipalities. Do you have a
I
motion?
move for certification of Atlantic County League of Municipalities.
Second.
A motion is second. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, the ayes have it. B, Atlantic County Mayors Association.
I move to certify membership in the Atlantic County Mayors Association.
Second.
Your motion is second. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. C, Atlantic County Association of Township Officials.
I move to certify membership for the Atlantic County Association of Township Officials.
Second.
Your motion is second. Are there any questions? No questions. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, the ayes have it. We'll move on to the last item in the reorg. Comments by chairperson and committee members. If any committee members would like, I'll start with Charlie.
I did say I wanted to reserve my comments to the end. First of all, I do want to thank, it was 10 years ago, almost to the day, that the residents of this town elected me to Township Committee. I enjoyed serving at that time, and when it came time for re-election, I made a decision based on my family. I was missing all my son's hockey games, and I said that once he was done sports, that I would make a run at it again, and if the township residents so desired, they'd put me back in my rightful position. My son's hockey team won a championship in November. I got permission slip signed by my wife in January, and then was picked by the nominating committee to run. I want to thank Carl for running alongside of me. We worked extremely hard. He's a great guy. I got to know him very well. I'm really looking forward to serving with him up here. I believe that we'll get a lot accomplished for the township. We have an agenda. We ran on a platform, and we sit here ready to fulfill that platform. I want to, again, I thank my family for allowing me to do this, and I want this to be a positive thing, but I have to touch on comments that were made. First of all, my son is 9th generation in this town. I and my family have supported the police department in this township for generations. I personally respect each and every officer. I could not be more proud of our new chief of police. He's the right person for the job. He's a leader, and I can't be more proud of the accreditations the township police officers have received and the way this township, the police officers in this township act. I'm insulted by the comments. I'm a grown man. I don't think I need to mend any bridges. I will support them as I always have, and I'll continue to do so. In regards to Mr. Kurt's comments, a gentleman that I supported wholly in his election, had to look a good friend in their face and tell them that I wouldn't support them over him. Mr. Kurtz made the decision to insult we're paid up here. As township committee members, we're paid. We have volunteers in this town that have served this community, some of them for better parts of decades. He made the decision to insult each and every one of them by reading a statement on a record, letting them know that something that we worked on for years, that he was the smartest man in the room and he was the only one that understood. And then he picked up his ball and he went home. I looked him in the eye and I told him as a gentleman that that's the reason why I could not support him for the position of mayor. I also offered as a gentleman to help him mend those fences. For those of you that were not here at the first December meeting, there was a large contingent of planning and zoning board members who I have the highest respect for and have volunteered since my time on township committee, have volunteered with them, that was set to either resign that evening or at least put their comments on the record because they did not appreciate what happened. So I want to set the record straight. That's what happened. And I offered to help him mend those fences and told him I would support him in the future. So I apologize. I did not mean to amend my comments, but I could not let the comments go unnoticed. And I want to thank each and every voter that took the time to go into the booth and push the lever for Carl and I. I appreciate it. I didn't know that I'd be reelected. We were reelected, and now I'm ready to go to work for you. Thank you.
I kind of already said my thank yous. It's getting late. I'm hungry. So I'm seriously though. I'm humbled to be up here. This is it's very exciting to me. I'm really looking forward to the next 3 years and possibly more after that to take care of our town and make it the best town it can be. That's all.
Have any comments?
Yes. I'm looking forward to working with all 5 members that are sitting up here on Township Committee this year. It's a privilege to sit up here with them regarding of the comments. My comments were made because of the way I feel, and nothing has changed the way I feel about those comments. But it doesn't change the fact that we have 2 new committeemen duly elected that I think will do a fine job sitting up here on Township Committee. And as I said, I look forward to working with them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Roger?
Thanks, John.
I too look forward to a productive year and welcome the new members, and I certainly want to congratulate anybody that wins an election, because that's a tough road to campaign on. I do want to say, though, that I did not interpret John Kurtz's comments as Charlie did. John has always had the best interest of the township in mind, and I think he did when he made the comments that he made also. So I look forward to working with everybody. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Roger. You know, when you decide to be one of these people that sit up here, it's not for the pay. Charlie said that we get paid. It's not a lot, trust me. You do it because you're passionate. You're passionate about your town, your family, everything. So sometimes we get a little too passionate, and things get out of hand. I think we're all looking forward to coming together, working together. I'm excited to see some new faces up here, some people, two gentlemen that truly want to see the township change, want to work hard to do it. We've had numerous conversations already, and so I'm excited for the new year. I think that we have a lot to look forward to. We put some things in place in the last few years that are going to definitely make this town turn around. And the one thing that I've noticed, this is going into my 5th year, I think. This is I've noticed the public more and more has voiced their opinions, and as much as some people might think that we want to sit up here and we don't want to hear what you have to say and we can just get through our meetings, that's not the truth. Truth is we want to hear. All 5 of us only live in one area of the town, so we don't know everything that goes on in this entire town. So the more that you tell us and the more that you bring to our attention, the more that we can do. So I appreciate your involvement and look forward to it. And I want to wish everybody a happy new year, prosperous new year, and especially a healthy new year. So, thank you. With that, I call for an adjournment we'll adjourn the reorgs portion, and we will re-adjourn for the other portion. So we can do little pictures, some congratulations. So you guys want to take pictures with the family and all, now's the time to do it. So we're going to convene for about 10, 15 minutes, and then we'll get back into it. I'm sure you're all going to want to hang around.
Might want to do a motion to adjourn.
What's that?
Motion to adjourn the reorganization meeting.
Can we have a motion to adjourn organizational meeting?
So moved.
Motion is second. Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
So moved.
Second.
The motion is second. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. So we'll move to item 1, which is additions and deletions of late agenda items to be considered for action tonight. The first one, number 9, was in the reorganizational meeting, which we've already taken care of that in the regular meeting. Is 5C, authorize the cancellation of the advertisement for bid 2019-14, private collection agency services for municipal court debt. Township of Hamilton pursuant to New Jersey AC 534 9.3 to authorize the revision to the bid specification. It was a lot to say. That's in addition to the regular meeting. We have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. We'll move on to number 2, early public comment on agenda items, excluding items listed for public hearings. No one? Number 3, no discussions. Number 4, introduction of an ordinance. Public hearing will be held January 21st, 2020. A, ordinance 1917-2020. An ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and establish a cap bank. Mike, would you give us a brief on that, please?
This increases the amount of our, that we set aside for a cap bank to
Right.
3.5%.
Okay, very good. What's your pleasure?
I'll move ordinance 1917-220.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and second. Are there any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Award bids contracts. A, resolution to award a contract to Professional Property Appraisers Incorporated for residential inspection and measurement services for 2020, and will authorize the mayor and Township Clerk and the Assessor to execute the agreement on behalf of the Township.
So moved.
Motion, and we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Are there any questions? Rita, can you give me a roll call vote on that, please?
Mr. Kane?
Yes.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
B, resolution authorizing the agreement with Phoenix Advisors LLC of Bordentown, New Jersey, to act as continuing disclosure agent to the township for required scheduled filings for the current year ending 12/31/20, not to exceed $2,500, and authorize the chief financial officer to sign the same.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, Rita, could you give me a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Kane?
Yes.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Number 6, consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through M.
Can we go back to C, please?
Oh, yeah, we got 5C.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just talked about it, so that's how bad it's getting these days. 5C, authorize the cancellation of advertisement for bid 2019-14 for private collection agency services for the municipal court debt of the Township of Hamilton pursuant to 53493, and authorize a revision of the bid specification.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Are there any questions? So this is where we were getting a company to do
Collections for
collections for the
fines
court,
that
and
haven't
we
been
gotta
paid.
we gotta rebid
We
it.
have to redo it.
Okay,
Yeah,
very
there's a
good.
problem with the bid.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Now, number 6, consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through M.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Number 7, personnel. A, resolution appointing Rita Martino, Township Clerk, as Municipal Improvement Search Officer for the year of 2020.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those
Aye.
opposed?
Aye.
The ayes have it. B, resolution appointing Renee DeSalvio, Tax Collector, as Municipal Tax Search Officer for the year 2020.
I'll make that motion. What a great job Renee's done in the tax office. So,
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. C, resolution appointing William Johnson, Exemption and Abatement Officer for the year of 2020.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those
Aye.
opposed? The ayes have it. 7D, resolution recommending the appointment of municipal court judge for the Township of Hamilton Regional Municipal Court.
Do we need a name here, Mayor, or are we?
Yes.
I'll move the name of Michelle Verno.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by...
please.
Okay.
Mr.
sir.
Kane?
Yes.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Thank you. 8, approvals. A, minutes, December 16, 2019, regular meeting.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Carl should abstain.
That we, yeah.
Yes.
Abstain.
So we have, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. 3, 2,
3-2.
right? Okay. Good.
No, it's 3-0, 2 abstentions. So
Yeah. B, minutes of December 16, 2019, executive session.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. We get a roll call vote, Rita?
Because they were there.
Mr. Kane?
Abstain.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Abstain.
Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
3 yes, 2 abstention, motion carries.
Thank you. C, payroll and bills. Bill list total $1,078.21.
So moved.
Second.
Your motion is second. Rita, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Kane?
Yes.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
We'll move on to number 9, reports. Mr. Administrator.
I don't have anything to add to my written report other than to congratulate our new members from committee, Mr. Vitale and Mr. Kane.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Mr. Solicitor.
I would like to also extend my congratulations to Charles and Carl. And I feel it incumbent upon me to tell you that Carl has been my next door neighbor for over 37 years. And it's the first time I've seen him in a suit.
That's not true.
And,
One time you came and helped me tie a tie.
well, no, I thought about it. And you probably could say the same thing about me. And I just wanted to tell you that I had the privilege today of speaking to the Honor Society at the Davies Middle School, along with the chief and Sergeant Nelson. They invited us to talk about what local government does and what the police department does. And what a very, very fine group of young men and women. It was our privilege to do it, and I think they enjoyed it as much as we did.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Engineer.
Yeah, Mayor and committee, again, I want to thank you for appointing me again for another year as your engineer, and I'll work as hard as I can one more year.
Never a doubt. Thanks. Thank you.
I just have a few comments. I have a report dated January 6th. The first item on my list is the Lake Lenape Dam. I went to a meeting on December 12th, a dam committee meeting, and at that meeting it was decided that the design engineer, Patrick Ennis, will be preparing a report for our next township committee meeting for us to, for him to bring us up to speed on where he stands with his design work. He's doing the county's doing some survey work out there currently, so at next township committee meeting, I'll be able to read the report of Patrick Ennis. At a future meeting in February, we've asked him to come to the township to give us a full update on the Lake Lenape Dam. Cotton Mill Bridge, you probably read in the newspaper this morning, Pearson Construction was awarded a contract for $6.4 million. And it's not that? Okay. Well, let me get briefly through. Cotton Mill Bridge, $6.4 million, Richard Pearson Construction. There was, we're going to be invited to a pre-construction meeting in the next few weeks. Brett Knoll will get invited, the township will get a notice on that. I'll be attending that meeting, and that's when things will start happening. And again, we're going to ask the county and their consultant to come to a township committee meeting. We're going to have full disclosure on that project likewise. Tavistock is listed in my report. Tavistock work is completed with the exception of the seal coating of the community center parking lot, and some of the original sections of roads are going to get seal coated in the spring when the weather gets warm. There's one item I'm paying attention to, and that's the street light that was knocked down at the entrance. I've been talking to Atlantic Electric, and they said they'd make it a priority, and I'm going to hold them to that, so I'm working on that. Under construction projects, I just want to mention the Dollar General that's next to Cousin Mario's is scheduled to open in about 2 or 3 weeks. All that work is coming together nicely out there, if you've seen it. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. We'll move on to Township Committee members. Carl, I'll start with you.
Thanks. I pretty much said it earlier. I'm humbled by this, and thanks everybody. Just congratulations to Charlie, and hey, Happy New Year to everybody. That's all I have to say.
All right. John?
Pretty much reiterate the same comments. I'm looking forward to working with everybody that's sitting up here to benefit the township. And I hope we have a good year. I think we're going to.
Charlie?
Same thing. Carl, congratulations. It was a pleasure running with you.
Now it's time to get down to business, and I know you're up for the challenge. I look forward to working with everyone. And just to point back to what the mayor had mentioned in his comments earlier, he said, we don't know unless people bring things to our attention. And the light at Tavistock, that light got knocked down, and that was brought to our attention at a meet and greet that Carl and I attended at Tavistock. I asked Steve about it, and Steve got right on it. So if things don't get brought to our attention, they can't be corrected. And Steve, thank you for jumping right on that and doing what you can, because there are seniors in there, and it's very dark coming out of that intersection. Again, I look forward to making it an extremely productive 3-year term, and I look forward to working with everyone. So thank you.
Rodney?
Yeah, I want to repeat I won't repeat some of the comments that were made. I certainly support them, including Charles' comment about looking forward to a productive next year and following years. I want to wish all of you a prosperous and, more importantly, a healthy new year. But that's all I have.
All right, thank you. I just have one comment, and it's to the chief of police. So we did no beard, or what was it? What was November? No shave November? And then it was don't shave December. I'm glad to see that came to an end. Okay? I'm not a cop.
Doesn't matter.
Some people can grow and some people can't.
That's right. That's right. So, yeah, it was fun while it lasted, but glad to see it's over. That's all I have. I wish everybody a happy new year. I want to open it up to the public for public comment. Anyone in the public like to speak? Mr. Stride.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Bruce Stride. Congratulations to everyone who's been appointed or elected. I think everybody wishes you guys the best so our township can move forward. Speaking of bringing things to your attention, if I could read just a couple of lines from the New Jersey local government ethics laws to put my comments into context. No local government officer or employee shall use or attempt to use his official position to secure unwarranted privileges or advantages for himself or others. No local government officer or employee shall act in his official capacity in any manner where he or a member of his immediate family or business organization in which he has an interest, as a direct or indirect financial or personal involvement that might reasonably be expected to impair his objectivity or independence of judgment. And the final one, there's more, but these are 3 that are applicable. No local government officer or employee shall use or allow to use his public office for employment or any information not generally available to members of the public, which he receives or acquires in the course of and by reason of his office or employment for purpose of securing financial gain for himself or any member of his immediate family or any business organization which he is associated. From IRS filings that are available online, Mays Landing Merchants Association lists Mr. Kurtz as a principal officer located at 5926 Main Street. Mr. Neville is president on the years 2016 and 2017. Those filings were the last ones available online. I'm not sure about following years. From personal observations, Neville Automotive services county seat floors vehicles. You can see them clearly from the street when you're passing by. ELEC reports show that Mr. Neville is a campaign contributor of Mr. Kurtz. I'm not alleging that Mr. Neville has done anything wrong whatsoever. These are just all from public record. But these facts demonstrate direct or indirect financial and personal involvement. Agendas and minutes will show and prove that Mr. Kurtz was a single driving member of this committee and planning board to push the amendment to allow Neville Auto to sell used cars, the prohibited use in Hamilton Township. If Mr. Kurtz was successful, that would have been a financial benefit to Neville Auto. I did not find any evidence that Mr. Neville even applied for such amendment. It was ordered. Rhetorically, who authorized Mr. Malley, the attorney that was charged with drafting the original redevelopment ordinance. You don't have to answer that, but someone ordered Mr. Malley to draft the ordinance, and therefore be paid for it. Subsequently, the planning board denied the proposal, and the township committee tabled the ordinance where it has apparently died. Mr. Kurtz soon thereafter resigned from the planning board. But another area of concern, according to township committee agenda and minutes, Mr. Kurtz has routinely voted to make payments to the Mays Lane Merchants Association, voted to waive electrical inspection fees, and several other matters involving the Mays Lane Merchants Association during his time on township committee, including hometown celebration and the wine festival. These official acts involving direct, indirect, or personal involvement are clearly prohibited according to local ethics laws. Furthermore, over a year ago, I stood here voicing my concern that Mr. Kurtz had used his official capacity to promote an after-the-fact amendment to the township road program to pave and curb Pennington Avenue. In addition, bid specs and estimates were sought to replace the sidewalks, of which are Mr. Kurtz's property. Only after an OPRA was submitted were the sidewalk proposal scrapped, but the attempt was made before it was found out. Of course, it was Mr. Schenker, I think you'll agree, that encouraged me to form that complaint because he provided me information on what was going on at the time. However, township committee did not follow up on my concern. Either Mr. Stanley or solicitor advised Mr. Kurtz not to respond to my concerns at that time. I believe that was free personal legal advice. Mr. Kurtz heeded Mr. Stanley's advice. That complaint is still pending. If that was not enough, similar votes by Mr. Kurtz have taken place involving the MLAA, where Mr. Kurtz's sign is listed as a trustee on IRS filing forms found online, all public information that I'm listing. All of these organizations have served and continue to serve our community. However, there are laws that must be observed to maintain the public trust. That is not happening here in Hamilton Township, where we must be addressed by this committee, particularly two of the new members of this committee, Carl and Charlie. Now's your time to step up. You're new, and you have to address these things. Governing is not hard. Follow the law, treat everyone equally and fairly, and you will not be faced with these problems brought on by yourselves. Due to a lack of action by Mr. Schenker, and I say that because this committee did not follow through with my concerns that you would like to hear from the committee. I call upon government agencies such as the DCA and other prosecutorial agencies to immediately investigate and rectify these blatant violations. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anybody else from the public like to speak?
Move to close the public portion.
Second?
Motion to close the public portion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Make a motion to close the meeting.
So moved.
Motion is second for adjournment. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.